politics in the United States of America. The left has gotten really left, and the right has gotten really right. Everyone's towing the line, and we're getting nowhere fast. This is The Rational American. The Rational American. Common sense has gone out the window, and our passion is to open eyes in hopes that people will take a rational look at what America is actually becoming. Put your feelings aside and let's get real. This is The Rational American, and this is your host, Steve Oatley.
Well, hello. How are you doing? Yes, I know I spelt it wrong. I wrote fought with an A because, I'm from Massachusetts. We say fought. My car fought back. Anyway, how you guys doing? I'm trying to fix it. I can't fix all the platforms. I fixed YouTube. So if you refresh your page, it's spelled correctly. I tell you what, today was one of those days that just makes you go, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? And I'm going to run through it all. But first, hello, welcome to the show. My name is Steve. This is The Rational American, hosted by Steve. That's me. Man, oh man. Do we have a lot of weird stuff going on across this country today? Active shooter currently. If you're in downtown Atlanta, near Midtown, shelter in place. Hide your kids, hide your wife. There's an active shooter on the loose. At least 3 people have been shot. Nobody knows where the shooter is as of late. It's near Colony Square, apparently, in Atlanta. I called Adam. I checked on Adam. He is fine. He's not there. So, but yeah, man, it's a crazy scenario, and then when you look at what's happening in Dallas, Texas, how many of you guys live down there in Dallas, Texas? Because guess what? It's flooding horribly in Dallas, Texas right now. I believe they've gotten like 15 inches of rain so far today. Like 15 inches of rain. And that's just in a couple of hours. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like, here, watch. Matter of fact, I got you. You want to see? Oh, no. Of course, I have the wrong monitor queued in because I never saved this after. Watch, I'll show you. I got you. This is, this right here is downtown Dallas, currently, right now. Downtown Dallas, Texas. Look at that. That's a hood of a car, or that's a roof of a car. Underwater. Let me go back to the beginning. So you see all these videos, like, it's not that deep there. It's not, it's getting deep there. Semi-truck, holy crap, it's getting deep there. This guy's still probably dry, but he's like, what's going on? This car tried to drive up in the grass to try to stay warm. And I got to start closing this door when I do my live show. Now the lights are on because the curtains are gone, but the camera's off, so it doesn't matter. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. The front of the store is looking pretty creme de la creme. It's looking pretty good. So a lot of people are looking in. A lot of people are like, ooh, they're going to open. What is all that? Ooh, look at all the coffee. Man, look at that car right there. So this is crazy, and this is only just some of the footage. It's what's going on right now in Dallas, Texas, and I think it's the whole Dallas area. I'm not quite sure. Are there any high points in Dallas, or is it all, low? And then this was earlier today by San Diego. San Diego. Attempted smugglers are fighting back against Border Patrol. These are the people that they want coming into the country. This is insane. This guy, and I think it's important to show, this is the Tijuana San Diego. This is, a Mexican immigrant, an attempted smuggler. That's why they're arresting him. It's an attempted smuggler that was captured by these guys, and he's wearing a spandex suit. See, they had arrested this fella here. Look at this guy. Man, where I see, does Border Patrol not carry? Oh, got him. He's done. And now they're wrestling him up. But That's pretty crazy too. I just saw that video for the first time. Never watched it before. Pretty amazing. That was shared by Mayra Flores. I believe she is the one. Yeah, she's a congressman for the 34th District of Texas. Why does it say U.S. House candidate, Texas 34? I thought didn't she already get it? I thought she did. Maybe. Right? Wasn't she taking a vacant seat? I don't know. But let's watch that again. Man, I wish I could do play-by-play. Watch. Let's watch it again. This is on Twitter. So this guy's actively fighting back. Look at all the people across the border just watching him. This is the United States Border Patrol. This guy, I don't know why this guy isn't just going and putting hands on. The guy's got no weapons. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, if you guys are trained, right? They're only got the baton. He's got no weapons in his hands. That's where you go hands on. You know, take some Tai Chi. Take some Muay Thai or something. Take some sand. Throw it in his face. Do whatever you got to do. Make a statement with your force. This isn't a good representation of America. Actually, it is. This is a good representation of America right now. If you're listening on the audio only side, you have no idea what we're talking about it. But I will try to describe what you're seeing here on your screen. So everyone that's listening on the audio podcast, there is someone that is believed in the captions. It says they are an attempted smuggler. They were smuggling people into the United States, and the Customs and Border Patrol agents are trying to place him in custody. This little guy, he's wearing a wetsuit that doesn't close all the way on him because he's fat. And then the Border Patrol agent stands, I would say, a good foot taller than this little Mexican dude or wherever he's from. He is actively fighting against the Border Patrol, going at him, saying, come on, putting hands up, he tried to throw a right there, but it was weak. It was a weak right. Here comes another Border Patrol agent. This other Border Patrol agent's got his motorcycle ATV helmet on, but he's just walking behind him, not going like at this point. I don't understand this. Like I would have went on. I would have kneecapped the dude. You know what I mean? Everyone says, why do police have to shoot to kill? This would have been a good opportunity to show, hey, you don't need to shoot to kill. You could shoot his big toe off or something. I'm not advocating that they should have shot this guy because it's clear he doesn't have a weapon. They should have picked up one of these cones and hit him with it because clearly this little baton is not doing anything. Man, this little guy wants to square up. Does he have a weapon in his hand? Maybe he does. Maybe he's got something in his hand, and that's why they're not doing it. Yeah, you know what? I think he does, actually. What's he have in his hand? I can't tell. Or he's got a glove or something. He's got something going on there. Brass knuckles, maybe. See, because there's something underneath it. It could be a finger. I don't know. And then this big fella is coming over. So there's a third Border Patrol agent. So right now you got a 5'2" Mexican dude. You got maybe a 5'8" Border Patrol agent wearing an ATV helmet. You've got a 6'5" Border Patrol agent with a ski mask on and a baton, expandable baton, all opened up. And then you got what I would say is probably a 5'10"-ish, 400-pound Border Patrol agent. The only one that actually seems to be making an effort to take down this scumbag comes over and Happy Gilmore's him. Boom! Boom! Tackles him. Then they throw a little bit of sand in his face, and yep, they're going to place him in custody. Look at the big dude, though, not do shit. Like, what's up with the big Border Patrol agent? These two officers, the helmeted ATV officer, and then this little officer, or the guy that Happy Gilmore'd him, they're right in it. They're in the mix. And the big Border Patrol agent, he's like fumbling with his baton. Oh, nope. Now they go with the knee down. He's digging his baton into the back. That's what they're trying to do. He's trying to get it under his arm so he could peel his arm back. I see. Now it looks like the guy that they're fighting with is trying to bite the Border Patrol agent's legs or something. I don't know. I've never seen an arrest technique quite like this. I think it's quite odd because what are they doing? What are they doing? Like this guy's face? Like what are they doing? How are you going to get his arms? Like this is how it started. So that you got this Border Patrol agent that takes a Speedo guy and he's got him arrested and it says in Spanish, it says, Playas de Tijuana San Isidro. And then this fella is fighting with this border. He's shook. This officer is shook. So this guy does have something in his hand. Let's see. Because he switches it. Watch. He switches hands. See, whatever it is, he takes it off, puts it in the other hand. So he's got something in his hand, but what is it? I don't know what it is. Maybe brass knuckles. Maybe that's what he's got. So that would make sense. But aren't brass knuckles illegal, let alone like a deadly weapon? Right? Could he draw his weapon and shoot said smuggler? Because you know what? This smuggler has probably already been released and is already trafficking his next group of people into the United States. Man. Crazy stuff. Didn't even know that was going to even be a segment in this show, to be completely honest with you, because, well, I didn't see the video until just then, and we all watched it live. Pretty crazy. But there's a lot of craziness going on in this country. You may have seen a tweet that I shared this weekend. I'll pull it up. There was apparently a Texas attorney that was arrested and charged with smuggling humans. Hold on, let me find this. Yeah, so we wrote an article on it, and I also shared it on social media. So a licensed Texas attorney, and according to the constable from Texas, a federally appointed immigration magistrate, that's like a judge, you know, they can try immigration cases. They put all these magistrates in place to try to help the federal case law. Anyway, this guy named Timothy Jaffet, I think that's how you would say it, Japhet. You know, a guy that looks weird. And I'm showing a picture up here. But he was arrested for attempting to smuggle these guys in the back of his BMW, as you could see on your screen now. So he's got a BMW and it's got temp plates. And then just in case you're curious as like, Steve, how do you know he's an attorney? Well, because in his wallet, he had a state bar card. And I know what a lot of people did. A lot of the other journalists all censored out his name and his bar number. We're not doing that because this guy is scored. He's the scorch. And here's the best part. If you go on his social media, if it's still around, it was yesterday. If you go on Timothy Jaffet's social media page, guess what? He is proud of this. He says he just happened to pick up 4 undocumented immigrants by the border and was just giving them a lift. He had no idea that they were illegal. He had no idea. He wasn't smuggling them. Like, you can't even make this shit up. Yeah, and he's literally writing it. Like, if I was a prosecutor, I'd be like, yes, keep writing, sir. I'd be baiting him and be like, thank you, sir, for your help. Like, when is the next time you go to the border to try to entrap them and all that stuff? That's what I would be doing if I was a prosecutor in the state of Texas. He says that this is a testament to show how Governor Abbott's handling of the border crisis, Operation Lone Star, or whatever they're calling it, to show why it's a failure. Because, well, a lawyer himself was locked up for, he says 4 days, which is weird because the constable said he was arrested on the 14th, right? Was it on the 14th? I don't know. Said he was arrested. Oh, so it must have been last Saturday. Yeah, okay, this is making sense. Last Saturday. When did I tweet this out? Yesterday. Okay, so this does make sense. So last Sunday, the constable arrested him, right? And mainstream media, and nobody really caught this. I don't know. Has Fox News talked about this story yet? Because you would think this would be a big story. We always talk about the smuggling that's taking place at the United States border. We don't necessarily talk about the people that get caught because we don't know who their names are. We sometimes, when we did our border report and all that, we would cover like a U.S. citizen was caught smuggling drugs or whatever into the country. But normally you don't see the state, you don't see licensed attorneys, let alone attorneys that graduated from law school in 2000 or 1998 and got, admitted to the bar, almost 20 years ago, and, have a longstanding practice, and it's weird because when you go on his social media, seems to be like involved in that Bitcoin, like, here, buy some Bitcoin, buy some NFT stuff for a while. It's also really weird because he did a bunch of interviews back in 2020 because apparently he played collegiate ball with the one and only George Floyd. And why is that weird? Well, because he said he represented George Floyd in a drug case and that George Floyd died in 2016. And he's pretty damn certain of it. And if you look at his social media, he was like, hey, they're all lying to you for years and years. And like, he kept saying, he's like, yo, I represented him. I was literally his attorney and he's dead. And so it's all sorts of weird stuff. But all of that is verifiable if you just do the slightest bit of research. So you can make the argument that this guy is just batshit crazy, or maybe he didn't play football with George Floyd at Texas, whatever university, Texas A&M or wherever the hell he went to school. Or you could just make the argument that he's just batshit crazy. And it thought that he went to school with George Floyd and, in fact, went to school with someone else named George Floyd. Is there anyone else named George Floyd? Who knows? But it's just really weird. And he doesn't deny it, which is weird because he's an attorney. Like, you would think an attorney, especially a defense attorney, which he is, you would think a defense attorney would be like, hey, don't say anything on social media because it could be used against you. But apparently this guy is just so stuck in his ways. He's definitely anti-COVID too and anti-lockdown, which that would make sense, right? Because that's kind of rational, thought. But everything else is just it's a little odd to me. It's a little odd when you think about it. Just very odd, very odd. Also, yesterday, I shared out something on social media that went kind of viral, and I'm not going to talk about it I'll talk about it a lot. I'm not going to show the video too much because, actually, I'm not going to show the video at all. It's on my social media. It's on my Twitter page of 3 police officers, 2 sheriff deputies, and 1 Mulberry police officer beating the living crap out of a guy as they were trying to place him in custody. And I know what a lot of you guys say, like, Steve, you're super pro police, right? Back to blue. And I've always said, yes, it is kind of unconditional, right? Because police get the benefit of the doubt from me always, just because, well, I'm rational and I know that job. They deserve the benefit of the doubt. But when they screw up, we're going to all hold them to account. These officers were beating the crap out of this guy, so much so, and the guy's a white guy, mind you, and the cops are all white, so there's not that racial card to go, but this was so bad and so brutal of these guys smashing his head against the concrete, dragging his head against the concrete steps, and the video is on my Twitter page. This video has been viewed 7 million times. 7 million times. That's how crazy it is. And the original video has been viewed over 10 million times. So when you combine them all, it's like 17 million. But it's absolutely crazy because they're beating him so severely, holding his head down while punching him in the face. And then when people, because everyone says, like, listen, if you see something like that, get involved. You tell the police to stop. Tell them you're filming. Do something, anything, right? Well, the people that were filming were like, hey, this is wrong. And they told the officers to stop, to which one fat slob of an officer says, get the out of here. And then the people, because they're scared of these cops who are beating the shit out of someone else for whatever reason, they were like, get out of here. They got scared and were like, what do we do? This video instantly went viral on social media. And the sheriff deputy the sheriff of this community, I forgot what we have an article out on it as well. The sheriff immediately took action because under no circumstances would this be okay. It doesn't matter. It's not a racial thing or anything. It just so happens the suspect was white in this case and all the officers are white. But this was well above and beyond. I don't know, restraining techniques of police, but I can almost guarantee taking someone's head while you have 2 other officers on him and slamming it against concrete, or deliberately grabbing the guy's hair and dragging with both hands his head against the face. And you could see the cop is literally doing it deliberately, slamming his head against the concrete. It's outrageous. It is one of the most heinous videos I've ever seen in terms of police brutality, and which is why so many people are commenting on this. In fact, the grifter of all grifters, Ben Crump, even tweeted about this. And I'm sure Ben Crump is trying to find out who this suspect is so he could represent him, because whoever the lawyer is that gets this case is getting paid, because this case is so open and shut. Any jury, no matter what, I don't care what this guy did, any jury, no matter what, is going to convict these officers. So the sheriff within hours, suspended the 2 officers, his 2 deputies that were out there kicking, kneeing, and punching and smashing his head. And then the Mulberry police chief actually suspended the Mulberry officer as well, because they were all brutalizing this man. In this video, again, it's on my Twitter page at Steve Oatley. It's one of the worst police violent videos that I've ever seen. And obviously, you guys know we watched a lot. And I sincerely hope that every single one of these officers, it looks like the sheriff deputies are the ones that are the most aggressive. The Mulberry police officer, I'm watching the video now, and obviously I can't share this. The Mulberry police officer actually looks to be the one that's attempting to place this man in handcuffs. He doesn't attempt, and I got to watch the whole thing as it restarts again. the beginning of the video, because it doesn't appear that he even punches once in this video. It looks like he's trying to get hand control while one deputy is kneeing the guy in the back and the other deputy is literally holding down this guy's head and just railing on his head, kneeing him in the head. That Mulberry officer never once punches. He never once punches. He's going for hand control. And he has never once punched. So maybe that officer, but then at one point, if you're an officer and you see the other two officers doing that, I would have pulled my taser and shot that, or, tased the officer that's punching him in the face, pulled my nightstick right across the face of the other guy, because this video, it's something else. And I encourage you all to go to my Twitter page at Steve Oatley. Give it a follow because it's incredible. But also watch this video. I posted it yesterday. And it's got 81 retweets and a bunch of other stuff and a lot of comments. What's interesting is that by the way, I just went to the gym right before this. I'm still all sweaty. This is the energy drinks running through me. That's why I'm talking like a banshee right now, but whatever. What's interesting about these videos is some people. Obviously, everyone wants to make a point about race, right? Mainstream media is not going to care, which they may not. Mainstream media may not cover this story. Maybe they will, but again, we report things a couple of days before they do because they got to get all the facts. Apparently, this guy was acting irrational, told a clerk in one business that he was going to kill her, stuff like that, but and charged at the officers. I don't care. Even with all that said, this guy was unarmed and he was being brutalized by these police officers. I don't care. I don't care about anything else, because here's the thing. If a civilian, like, for example, say I'm in a store, right? And I'm standing there and I'm ready to buy my Cheetos or something. Some dude's yelling at the clerk, say, I'm going to kill you. I would not, if it was an individual civilian beating this guy, like a one-on-one, like 3-on-1 is still bitchy. I'd probably go, and if it was civilians doing that to someone else, I'd kick him right in the face. But one-on-one, like, I know how I fight. I've literally hurt people before because I just lose my shit. But they deserve it. But do you know what I mean? So, like, there's a difference between civilians and what these officers were doing. No, I take that back. No, because I would never smash someone's head against the concrete. Ever. But I saw a lot of people that were trying to justify this by saying you don't know what happened. And there's no justification. This guy could have literally just killed someone and it wouldn't have justified this type of beating. Because they're police officers. If they were not police officers, then maybe he did. But they're police officers. They have to be held to a higher standard. This is not it. And I encourage everybody to go watch this video and share it. Tweet it out. Put your comments. Don't put your comments in this one because it's freaking, there's like a million other comments already. Retweet it. It would be interesting to see what people think. Because I know some people think it's okay. Like, the other viral video that we put up the other day of the young kids in Brooklyn, the 13, the 15, the 16, and the 2 20-year-olds that beat the taxi driver to death. We put that video up, and a lot of people were like, you don't know their background, the kid's background. You don't know why they did this. You don't know what the circumstances are, which we did. But there's no justification for beating someone to death. It doesn't matter, especially not if you're a cop. But under no circumstances is it acceptable to beat someone to death. There's no justifying it. You know what I mean? Like, if the person is unarmed, you just can't. It's literally, you just can't do it. If the person is unarmed and they're no longer a threat, you can't beat them to death, and you have to be held accountable. And I just don't understand why people try to justify that kind of behavior. And you guys all know that a lot of people do. They try to justify it. The video is on my Twitter page. April is putting it all over Facebook and everything. But someone said if police want to, that's fine, but we should be allowed to fight back without guns. I think civilians should be allowed to go and stop, confrontations like this by physical force. And I wish more people did. But then look what happens. There was that one store where a Dollar General, employee was like tired of people stealing. So she decides to be like, no, you ain't stealing this. And then the girl and the guy brutally beat her, where the guy was strangling her and all that stuff. And she was trying to stop people from stealing in the store. I encourage every single one of you, just as an American, if you see someone committing a crime and it doesn't appear that they're armed and you believe that you have the technical resources available, in terms of knowledge on how to fight, whatever, to stop that, to stop them. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how, like, you see all these videos of like someone just falling out right on a subway or something like that, or in the middle of a road and people drive by, or a car accident and people don't stop. Like stuff like that. I've never understood that mindset, right? Because you always stop, always. And it sucks because sometimes you don't want to, but you always have to. When the motorcycle was hit by the car directly in front of our store like 2 weeks ago, I didn't want to go out there in 100-degree weather. I wanted to make sure that the motorcyclist was okay because he got clobbered. And then, and what did I end up doing? I ended up sweating for the next 3 hours because we were trying to get the motorcycle out of the road and the whole front end was all fucked up so it didn't move. So I literally had to drag this fully dressed Harley out of the road. But you know what? I did it because I'm a beast. But that's the job. That's the responsibility. And while I was sitting there struggling to do it because I'm strong, but this bike was freaking heavy and it doesn't roll. So, and the pavement was tacky and all that. So, excuse after excuse. But as I'm rolling it like an inch at a time, right? All these other people are just sitting in their vehicles watching. One person even had the audacity to honk. They had the audacity. Oh, and motorcyclist, whoever you were the other day when I was coming out of the Walmart parking lot, right? Getting up on the 81. And I see you making a right-hand turn on, and I start making my left-hand turn, and you got all tough on your little Harley Davidson, right? And then for the next 8 or 9 miles, you kept mean-mugging me as you drove. And then when you took the exit, which happened to be my exit, and I stopped right behind you, you turned around, you spit on the ground, acting like a big tough guy. And then you made a turn in the same direction I was going. You got scared a little bit. You pulled over. You got off your bike. I pulled over. I opened the door, and you're like, ah! And you drove away real fast, you little punk. Yeah. My wife was not happy with me. But I went home and I tell her all about that. Yeah, I almost beat up this fake ass Harley guy. Because that's the truth. I mean, these past couple of days, I had to go to the gym today. Even though I didn't really have the time to do it, I had to go to the gym today because I have so much aggression. You guys want to hear about my day? So you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, right? There was this Antifa turkey that attacked my brand new concession trailer. Remember that? It just flew out from the woods. It's like, fuck you, conservative, and dive bombed right in the side of the trailer, giving this big old dent right on the side of this brand new trailer. Yeah. Well, today, some little Antifa fucking deer decided to try to stage a protest in front of my vehicle. And guess what? My vehicle won. I killed a deer today. Not very proud. It was a baby deer too. It wasn't a baby. It was older. It was like a teenager deer. You know what I mean? Still living in his mom's basement. You like my picture? I tried really hard. I'm not very good at any editing or anything, but I tried to make an Antifa deer. But yeah, I killed the deer this morning, right? And I was sad, but I've never really hit a deer. I think I hit one time, but it was so long ago and I just kept driving, but I didn't know. But, it fucked up my car pretty good, which is interesting because the deer, it wasn't a baby deer, but it wasn't a fully grown deer, like full standing. Maybe it was like 3 feet tall, on its back, and its head was a little bit, because the head kind of went boom on the hood of my car, scared the shit out of me. I wasn't speeding. I was only doing 35 miles an hour, but I'm just driving all along. It's kind of foggy. It's early, 6 o'clock in the morning. All of a sudden, boom. And then I see this deer flying through the air like that. And it skids across and it lands, and I stop my car, and I must have looked like the biggest freaking redneck ever. Because I get out of the car, and I'm like, God damn it, here, deer. And I'm eating a bagel with cream cheese right in the middle of the road. Someone said, what's the T-for connection? Because fuck them. Anything that attacks me is Antifa. That's how, because it's funny. But so I stop. And I've never hit a deer, so I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I did hit a deer once when I was driving a big truck that had a brush guard on it. Didn't even do anything to the truck, but the deer kind of exploded. So I didn't really think anything of it. So the deer was out of the road. I stayed with it. I was nice as it's like giving its final twitches and leg up in the air and stuff. I stayed with it and I was like, go deer. Oh dear, go. You know what I mean? And I waited till it stopped twitching and all that, which was only like 10 seconds. And then I'm looking around and I'm like, shit, my car, is it okay? And there's a little piece of the bumper I had to rip off to make sure it wasn't hitting the wheel. And then I hobbled it to the office. and then I go and I do exactly what, a responsible adult does, right? File an insurance claim. That's why we pay insurance. I've never been in accidents or anything in the past couple of years, so my insurance is dramatically low right now, and I'm like, fuck it. That's why I pay every month. Let's make them work for it, right? So I filed the insurance claim, and as I'm filing, it's like, you need to put your police report number, and I'm like, well, shit. I didn't call the police. So, because I didn't think I needed to. So then I call the police on their non-emergency number, and I'm like, listen, I left. I didn't think I needed to call, but the insurance is asking for it. Like, mind you, this is at 6:40 in the morning, so this is early as shit. And, I talked to the officer in my town, and super nice guy. I'm like, I didn't know, that I was supposed to call. He's like, yeah, he's like 50-50. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, 50% of the people do, 50% of the people don't. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm one of the 50. You've put that wherever. And he's like, well, you're doing a report. And so he verified my license, my ID, all that stuff over the phone. And then he's like, all right, here's your report number. And he took some time to try to figure out where the deer was. And I had to go back and figure out where the deer went, because I'm like, what do you mean it's not there? This thing didn't get up and walk away. It was pretty, dead. It was pretty dead. It's not like I went down and made sure it had a pulse or didn't have a pulse anymore, but no, this deer was dead, and and then I was like, all right, so we have Geico for our personal car insurance, and so I did what any normal person, open the claim. It's like, okay, do you want to bring your car to the nearest collision center and Geico handles everything, or do you want to handle everything yourself and do it? And I'm like, nah, fuck that. That's why I pay you every month. Geico does everything. And it's like, all right, your nearest collision center is exactly 49 miles away. And I'm like, whatever. So I kind of jury-rigged the whole front bumper, so it's good. And then I start on my convoy, and I arranged a rental car and all that stuff, right? So, I'm still in a relatively good mood considering everything, right? I was in a good mood, right? Gambler said, those cops in the video are awesome. Talk about a beatdown. You're an idiot. One of my YouTube mods. Just get rid of that scumbag. But yeah, so I drive all the way out there, right? Nice place. I'm not going to say who it is, but nice collision place. Super nice people. They come out, they look at it, they're like, yeah, this is going to be several weeks. We got to get a whole new bumper because you broke all the shit off, when this thing hit and all the stuff underneath. It literally, this little deer fucked up my car, dude. Like, they're like, yeah, maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, somewhere around there to get all the pieces fixed and repaint it. And you got to fix this and this and this. And I'm like, damn, bro, like, this sucks. And they're like, don't worry, your car rental place is going to bring the car over. And I'm like, sweet. So I don't need to go anywhere. I just sit here. So all of a sudden, the car rental company comes in and they're like, all right, Mr. Oatley, you're ready. Let's go. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting a minivan? Like, I'll drive it, but I don't really want a minivan. He's like, oh, no, we got to go back and do all the paperwork. Your car is getting detailed, he says. So I go back and they punch in my driver's license number. They punch in my credit card number. And they're like, Mr. Oatley? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, we can't rent a car to you. And I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, yeah, you're on our do not rent list. And I'm like, oh, wait, what are you talking about, Willis? What do you mean I'm on a do not rent list? And they're like, yeah, but there's a note here. It says we're not allowed to rent you a vehicle. And I'm like, what for? And they're like, well, we don't really know. It just says we can't rent one. And then I'm like, do you have a phone number or somewhere? I got to figure out what the hell this is going on. And they're like, yeah, sure, here's the number. And they give me a number that doesn't work. And I'm like, what is going on? What is going on? And I'm like, give me a number. And they call their branch manager, and the branch manager's like, okay, give them this number. And I call that lady. She's like, yeah, I see what it is. And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm a political commentator. Everyone always talks about getting canceled and being put on like no-fly lists and all this. And I'm like, I don't get that controversial. Why can't I rent this car? And they're like, well, back in 2015, you rented a car from us and you used the Easy Pass. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, and we attempted to charge the card, and there was like a $12 balance. And I'm like, wait, what? So you, because of a $12 balance or something from 7 years ago, you gave me a heart attack. And they're like, yeah. And then I was like, well, how do I pay for it? Like, how do I fix this? And they're like, well, you got to call this other number. So I called the other number, waited on hold for 40 minutes. While I'm in mind you, I'm in this dealership because I had nowhere to go. My car is getting worked on. And so finally, I get this really nice lady on, and I start talking to her, and she's like, yeah, I see what the problem is. And you know what? I'm just going to take care of it for you. Yeah, I'll just take care of it. And I'm like, really? And I'm like, that's awesome. So I was feeling good again, right? So I walk in, like chest all puffed out, and I'm like, yes, you can give me my car now. And they go in. Well, there's a new hold on it. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you're going to have to call again. She's like, the original hold is gone, but now there's a secondary hold. And I'm like, so I call, I wait like a half an hour, get hold of another lady, explain the situation to her. And she's like, hold, please. Oh, I see what she did there. Hold on. Okay, you should be good now, Mr. Oatley. And I'm like, will you stay on the phone with me while I go and make sure so there's no other problems? And she's like, I guess. Like, she's super nice until I asked if she wanted to stay on the phone. And then, yeah, I don't know what people are talking about in the chat. So long story short, I get the car, right? And so I go back to the collision place and I take all my gym stuff out and all that because powerlifters, we have a lot of equipment. I just keep it in the car. And so I would take all that stuff out, all the charger cables and all that stuff, and put it in the rental car. I go into the front. I give them the key to the car, you know, and then I drive and I start going and I'm about halfway home, about 30 minutes away. And then somehow my brain is like going like, okay, what if my wife calls me today and says that she doesn't have the martial arts stuff for my son? That means that I'm going to have to go home and grab it. And so I'm like trying to rearrange my day because I got up early. I was going to come to work and package all the coffee orders and all that stuff from this weekend. And so I was prepared. And then I was like, wait a second. Because normally, and I've done it before where I stop by her school, I open up her car and I throw the martial arts shit in there and lock her car again because I keep a key on my keychain. And then I was like, oh, yeah, that's the key that I gave to the collision place. I didn't give him my car key. I gave him the key to her car. So I then had to turn around and drive all the way back there. And I called them because I figured they're like trying to move the car because I kind of left it right in the middle of the parking lot. And I figured they're trying to move it and it's not working. And so I called them and I'm like, yeah, so... She's like, man, you're really having a bad day, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I'm having a bad day. So I get there and I don't even say anything. She's like sitting there smiling, undoing the key. She's like, fuck you. Like, you know what I mean? You could tell she wasn't being mean or anything, but that's what, like, her face. And I'm smiling. I didn't say anything. I gave her the keys to my car, grabbed the other one and kind of just chuckled and then left. And then I turned back around. I walked inside. I'm like, listen, can you tell me where there's a fast food place, like anything? Because at this point, it's now like 11:30. I'm hungry as shit, right? And she's like, yeah, all you do is you go out of here, you make a right, and you just follow it, and then you'll see there's a chicken place. It's on your right-hand side. No, you can't miss it. They got burgers and all that. It's great. And I'm like, all right. So I go out, I make a right, and I follow it. And there's no fucking chicken place. There's nothing. So then I have to turn around and go back, and I had a good mind to stop back into the collision place and be like, why are you fucking with me today? Why are you doing this? I'm just hungry. But I ended up finding my way back to the road. Oh, and my phone in this Jeep rental car that I have, my phone, when you plug it into the Jeep, it like freaks out and it's like, wah, 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 error number 8. Like your phone system is not secure or something like that. So I can't even use the GPS or anything in the car. So it was that was my day. Oh, so finally I go home. I let my dogs out. I get back here around 1:00 and I'm like, okay, I have this list of shit I have to do. I got to order all the shirts for the August boxes. I've got to, start packaging the coffee. I come back here to do the first batch of coffee orders because I usually try to do them at 20 at a time. And then I take a break and then I do 20 orders and take a break. So I come back here to do the first batch. I get the coffee on the table back there. And then I realize I don't have any coffee boxes. I'm out of the damn 8x8 boxes that I use. So then I had to go over and order more of those boxes, which they're overnighting. So I'll get them tomorrow. So then I could do all the coffee orders tomorrow, which screws up my whole schedule for tomorrow. And all the while, the developers were waiting for some workflow sheet for our new software. And I had to tell them, I'm like, I hit a deer and it ruined my day. I'm sorry. It's going to be tomorrow. And they're like, well, okay, you're paying us. So, that's my day for you. And then I went to the gym and I had a really good workout and I lift a lot of weight. So a bunch of people watch and I'm like, yep. And then I came back here and there was a guy with a gun with a mullet standing out front of my store. Normally I park in the back. So I was like, fuck this dude. Let's see if he's a hater. So I parked right out front. I got out of my car. He was like, how you doing, sir? I'm like, fuck off. Because I hate guys that open carry. It's such a stupid ass shit. Like if you're gonna carry, you know, don't open carry, even though it's your constitutional right. I just think it's stupid. Yep. And then I came in and I sat here for a minute, talked to my wife for a second, called Adam real quick to see how he was doing, and then boom, here I am doing the live. That was literally my day, all day long. You know, today was supposed to be the great day. I get all these coffee orders gone, place a new coffee order, you know, for our resupply, because then I'll know how much to order. I did the shirt order at least, that, you know, so I ordered 700 plus shirts, so that's good. I actually got that one thing that had to be done today done. And yeah, I mean, I took the little packets of coffee that we now sell and put them in the nice thing my wife bought. It's been a fucking disaster. It's been a disaster this whole day, man. It's one thing after the other. And you know what? I'm excited because I'll just go home. I'll spend the evening with my wife and kids because they're not doing martial arts today. And then I'll come here tomorrow and just, you know, go through everything. Also, today we started our big giveaway. October 1st. All you have to do is go to puretruthcoffee.com, purchase anything in the store. It doesn't even matter. And you will be entered in a contest to win a trip for two to Key West, Florida. October 1st, we're doing the live drawing. And you don't need to buy anything because you can simply go to the Pure Truth Coffee, go to the giveaway page. You'll see it somewhere on there. And then it will send you the instructions. You just got to send a 6x6 with all your information right to our store here. And then you're automatically entered in. But for every $5, you have an entry into the contest. It keeps track of it somehow, the new software. But yep, it's going to be good. Someone said drink some more coffee. I haven't had coffee since, I don't know, 7 o'clock this morning. It's pre-workout that does this. Like if you're physical active, if you're physically active when you go to the gym, and then when you finish the gym, you're still on that like pre-workout, you know, whatever. So that's why I'm talking quite a bit. And I hope you guys like it. It's not coffee. Someone said I live in Key West, so, well, nothing. You get to go stay in a hotel for 2 days. And you don't get airfare, which is nice. You know, it saves a lot of money. But yep. It's crazy. If people are on Facebook or YouTube rather are having crazy, someone said estimated $4,999 value. No, it's actually less than that. Estimated value is $2,500 because we're not buying your food or anything. You gotta just get to the airport. That's it. But just go in puretruthcoffee.com. You could buy one of the mega boxes for September. Also, if your name is Joe and you keep emailing me every single day about your October or your August Patriot box, and I keep replying every single day, or your mega box that it hasn't shipped yet because we follow the dates on when you place the order, and then you say okay, and then the next day you email me again for shipping for the same box, and I give you the same answer, and then the next day you email me again for the same box, and then I give you the same answer, and then the next day you email me again, and I start ignoring you, and then the next day you're like, you're not answering any of my emails. Why aren't you answering my emails? Where's the box that's supposed to ship August 25th, like it says in the, and I'm not going to answer any of your emails. I've already given you enough emails. That's great customer service, mind you, because my lack of response after the 8th time is fully out of respect because I have nothing nice to say. You know what I'm saying? So, what else? Adam is good. But Adam will probably go live someday when he has a little bit of time. So the alleged suspect in the shooting. Oh, shit. So remember how, look at this. This does not fit. This is the alleged suspect in the downtown. This is a cop right here. But this lady, according to ATL Uncensored, the alleged suspect in the Midtown shooting was arrested at the airport. At the airport. So these are the cops. This is a cop. This is the alleged suspect of the shooting. Really weird. We're not going to hear about that anymore on the news. You guys know that. We won't hear about it anymore on the news because, well, it's not a middle-aged white man. And you guys know that's the truth. Yeah, They confirmed 1 victim dead, 2 victims in the hospital. The name of the suspect is Rayaja Kanye. Here's another one. This is the images that they put out. I was live, so I didn't see this. Here's the images of her after she shot a bunch of people. Oh my gosh. We're not going to hear about this shit anymore. And it doesn't qualify as a mass shooting either because only 3 people were injured. So we're not going to hear about it. Guaranteed. Guarantee that. Crazy ass shit though. Crazy stuff, man. It's every day in America. Every day. I wonder if it was a legal gun. What do you guys think? You think it was a legal gun? I doubt it. I doubt it was a legal gun. What else? What else? I think that's about it. What else do you guys think? Is there anything pertinent that I missed today for news? You want to see how many? Someone said you ordered the mega box on Saturday. Are you eligible for the vacation? Yes, you are. And don't worry, we're going to do more giveaways and all that stuff. So even if you don't win the vacation, because there's going to be a shit ton of entries, we're going to be doing weekly TV giveaways, everything. From now on, I'm just going to be doing a ton of giveaways. So I think the next TV giveaway I do, by the way, April, did you ever get the people from the giveaway on Saturday? Did you ever get the confirmation? What was their names? It was Beth and Joseph. Did you ever get their confirmation of the address? Let me know when you have a second. And lots of shootings in Philly. Yeah, let's do our daily where we analyze the past 72 hours of mass shootings. So today is the 22nd. There was a mass shooting in Huntsville, Alabama. 4 people were injured. Yesterday in Memphis, Tennessee, there was also a mass shooting. 1 person killed, 3 people injured. And then on the 20th across America, which was what, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, 3 mass shootings. Wilmington, Delaware, 4 people were shot, 0 people were injured. Asheville, North Carolina, 4 people were shot, no fatalities. And Chicago, Illinois had a ton of mass shootings over a 24-hour period. They had, what, 5, 6, something like that. Anyway, Chicago, Illinois had 5 people shot, 0 people killed. That was in the 6200 block of South Michigan Ave, just a little bit away on the 3300 block of West Florney Street. 1 person was killed, 4 others were injured. Also in Chicago on the 19th, which is what, Friday night. And also on Friday night in the 5200 block of South Green Street, also in Chicago, Illinois, 4 people were shot in another mass shooting. Norfolk, Virginia had a mass shooting on the 18th. 3 people were shot, 5 people were shot, 3 of them fatally. And then the 17th, where we go all the way to the 15th. So the 17th, Chicago, Illinois, 4 people were shot in the 7300 block of South Union Ave. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, also on the 17th, 4 people were shot in a mass shooting on the 2800 block of Bunzall Street. Also, the day before that in Philly on Haverford Ave, 5 people were shot in a mass shooting that nobody will talk about. August 16th in Memphis, Tennessee, near Austin P. Highway and New Covington Pike, 6 people were shot in that mass shooting. I believe children were part of that shooting, but both the shooters and the victims, I believe, in that one. And then finally, the 14th, there were a bunch of mass shootings. There were 3 mass shootings on the 14th. But we only do the past 7 days, which technically, if you include today, would have been the 15th. There were no mass shootings on the 15th, the one day of solace around America. And since then, there have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mass shootings across America in the past 7 days with 5 people dead and 4 or 5 dozen people injured as a result of that. And then April just sent me a Slack, so I want to read it real quick and see what she has to say. Joseph confirmed it did not hear back from the second one. All right, well, I'm sending both TVs out tomorrow anyway to them. So that's that. Waiting, hopefully Thursday. So they're painting the new offices. I was hoping to get in there early, but they're painting the new offices now, which is good, so I don't have to paint them. But I'm not going to be able to get in until they're done. They're hoping to have it done on Thursday, and then they're going to let me know, because it would be super awesome if I could get in early, because I got to get a new desk and all that stuff. But get in there early to get everything set up before we open this store. I also, one of the things I wanted to do was put a jobs thing on Pure Truth Coffee, and I didn't get to because the freaking communist deer that tried to hold a vigil in front of my vehicle today. And yeah, it's been an interesting day, man. Interesting day. Someone said some sort of glitch has caused sidelining of my comments in Steve Oley channel. Can this be squared? I have no idea what that even means. Insert an Spartan Armor commercial. I will. I'll put the Spartan Armor commercial up, and then I'm going to show you what my wife and kids built for us. And I say us because it's from you guys. Something that's been since 2020. We've kept doing stuff, but we haven't finished it. But check this out. I'll be back in 1 minute. You guys don't want to miss this. It's awesome.
I work for a federal agency. I've been doing this job for over 23 years. When I come home from work, what's rewarding to me is that I know that I'm out there serving and protecting the citizens of the United States. My job can be dangerous. There's conflict, aggression, and sometimes life-threatening situations. On June 12th, 2018, I was patrolling near a mountain range and I heard a noise in the gravel. I turned and I saw 2 muzzle flashes. It was clear it was an ambush. I was shot 6 times. Getting shot feels like 1,000 needles penetrating your body. I felt immense heat, and then later the pain kicked in and I had to do everything I could to save my own life. I survived because I was wearing my body armor. If not, my wife would be a widow and my daughter wouldn't have a father. Spartan Armor saved my life.
Oh boy. All right, so that's a Spartan Armor commercial. So look, my wife, and this is 48 inches tall, or 40 inches tall, I think. So I can't, it's actually quite heavy, so I'm not even going to try to pick it up. But this is the first. We have 3 of these shadow boxes that we're building to be on display in the front of the store. These are all the patches that people sent me during the riots in 2020. We have a little bit more, but we need a way more patches because the cases are so big and we didn't really think about it. And I thought I had a lot more patches than we did. So these are all the patches that we have in the one case that's done. So if you guys have any patches, fire, EMS, police, military, any patches at all, we have kind of all of them in here. Please send them to our store, 121 North Main Street in Woodstock, Virginia, 22664. Send them to the store, and if you do it right away, they'll be up before we even open the store. As soon as I get the not self-tapping. What are the damn screws that I don't know. They have to be braced because this thing is heavy as shit. But we have patches from Asheboro, North Carolina, Georgetown, Kentucky, New York City, San Antonio, Seattle, Maryland, Natural Resources Police, Kingman, Arizona, Portland Fire, Maryland National Resource Police, another patch, Asheboro, North Carolina, Transportation Authority of Maryland, Bureau of Police from Portland right there. And I know who sent me that. Thank you. I don't know if you still watch, but you're probably busy with all the communists in Portland with your line of work. We have Lincoln Parish, Louisiana, Johnson County, Kansas, Fire Police. I don't know where it's from. New York Transit Police. That's an old patch too, which is cool. Renton, Washington, Philadelphia, Kansas City, Missouri, City of New York Police Academy, Auxiliary Police. That's an old patch too, from Summit, New Jersey, Louisiana. My old EMT patch right there. Check that bad boy out. And then a bunch more. Auxiliary Police, City of New York. What's that? The FDNY. Is that FDNY? No, that's Abu Ghraib prison. I think it's is that Abu Ghraib prison from Baghdad. San Antonio, the autism one down there. You can't see it really. And then some more Louisiana. My Vermont EMT for my Vermont uniform when I was a firefighter EMT. So that's cool. That's my national one. And then my Vermont one's down there. And then Aurora, Illinois, FDNY, something. I don't know what that one is. It says FDNY, PAPD, NYPD. Oh, it's a September 11th memorial patch. Yeah, so we got a bunch of them, so many. Clay County, Missouri. So if you have any fire patches or anything like that, please send them so we can make them. We need essentially another 30, or no, we need probably another 100 patches or so. I know a lot of you guys are sending them already, but it just keep sending them. I'll make more. You know what I mean? And maybe if we have extra, if we have over the 3, I'll go and buy another one of these shadow boxes, which are extremely expensive. This shit was $159. Isn't that crazy? And it was actually, I take that back. We got a 10% discount because my wife is a teacher. But this box was $159. Insane. It's real glass too, not that plexiglass crap. But yeah, so I'm excited about this, and I think it's going to look really good. So if you have patches, please send them to us like as soon as you can. I know we're getting some patches from Alaska. And if you, I know we have a bunch of viewers from overseas, Australia, UK, or listeners on our podcast. Send the patches as well if you can. Because yeah, we need them. We need as many as you can, but that's pretty cool. And you'll see it once I hang it up. I am going to redo the lighting in the front too, because I don't like how this, now that the curtains are down, with that one emergency light, the shit stays on all the time. So we're going to buy some track lights that are on 2 separate units, and I'm going to attempt to do it myself and not electrocute myself. So I can have lighting that goes on the display racks out front. And yeah. But someone said, I buy the shadow boxes with the decorations in them, and I take all the decorations out. They are way cheaper. That's not a bad idea, but whatever. What about making a page to list what patches you have so people can reference? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even if we have duplicates. We have, like for the Louisiana one, we have like 4 or 5 different Louisiana ones. So we're just, in each box, they're all just going to be different. I did go on eBay to try to buy patches, old, active police patches or, retired patches. They just want so much money for them. It's crazy. I didn't know there was a market for it, but my wife and kids did a really good job on this, right? Hot glue guns and all that stuff. So I'm pretty excited about that. The Walla Yeeters, I don't know where it is. I paid for the acrylic thing, and I can't get a damn reply from this company. So I may have to go and lose my money and just do it again. But the Walla Yeeters is going to go behind the TV that's right on that side that you can't see until we figure out what we're doing with this side. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're doing what we said we were going to, although it's taken a long time. Because remember I said we were going to do a wall of patches. And then I'm like, I want to put them in a nice frame. And my wife's like, you can't put them on that frame. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, that frame's only like a half an inch thick. It's not going to work. The thing will fall apart. You need to do the shadow boxes. And I'm like, I don't want to do shadow boxes. Military police is fine. Everything. First responders, dispatchers, someone asked about. Any patch, just no security guard patches or anything like that, please. And no, like, I'm a plumber. Here's my patch. And he sent me, someone did that once. That's why I came up with that. They sent me a tire patch kit asking for patches. Someone sent me a tire patch kit and they're like, here's your patch. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. It made me laugh. But yeah, Lynn said, I have a bunch of patches. Will you give me the address? Yes, it is 121 North Main Street in Woodstock, Virginia, 22664. But yep. If you send them, then they'll be up in display in our store here. And we got to keep doing it because we may be opening another store. We'll see when someone gets back to me. But we may franchise out stores because it's an interesting concept. So we have someone that's interested in franchising or opening up a franchise location in Pennsylvania. And if that does work, then we'll have another store, and all the stores are going to be very similar. So we would do a patch wall for that store as well, and patch walls for every store that we open up as well. So it's going to be very cool, and I'm pretty excited about it. And yeah, if any of you guys are interested in opening a franchise-free coffee shop, you let me know. When I say franchise, it's not franchise fee. free. You give away free coffee, and then you have all of our clothes and all that stuff there. And it all makes sense. But anywho, but yes, the address is in the store. Just put it as puretruthcoffee.com or Pure Truth Coffee Company on it, or even my name. The Postal Service knows. But that's it. That's going to do it for this show. I am not sure if Pete Santilli is going to be live tonight. I am going to put his feed, so it's going to play after. It'll play at 6 o'clock, but I'm not sure. Someone said I'll open in Portland, Oregon City. Yeah. I mean, they're franchises. We need a lot of insurance to open one in Portland, but hey, if you want to, then you could do it. So, and we're not doing like the franchise fees. Like when you buy into something, it's like $10,000. Like, no, you got to buy everything to make the store equipped and look the same. And then you just buy all the shit wholesale. That's it. But yep, that's what we're doing. Oh shit, shut off. I'm being super careful now because I don't want this thing to tip over because it's kind of just balancing there. We got closed store here. I don't know what that means, but yep. So that's the deal. I'll be live tomorrow. I don't know what time. It may be late because my wife and kids have martial arts tomorrow night, not tonight. I thought it was tonight. But that is going to be later. So I will be live tomorrow, probably night, and around 8 o'clock. And then we'll see what's going on in news and stuff during the day. Make sure April just put it in the chat. We have a Pure Truth Coffee page specifically that's going to be for the coffee. You guys, if the coffee is going to be the way that we're going to be able to drastically grow the news side and all that, because I have such a great plan and a business plan for it, especially with the expansion. I'm trying to like keep it kind of secretive, but it's going to blow up pretty quick, and not like blow up in a bad way, like blow up. Great. It's amazing. All right, guys, let me just end this thing. Everyone on Citizen Stringer, I am going to put Santilli's feed up for 6 o'clock. If I join at like 6:05 and it's gone, you're just going to see it switch back to the radio, and then we'll go from there. All right. So I appreciate all you guys for watching, and we will see you mañana, 8 o'clock Eastern time, unless I go live at 4. But 8 o'clock Eastern time. This show is going to replay at 9 p.m. tonight on Citizen Stringer, at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning before the Pete Santilli show at 8. All right. Someone said, have you posted your business on Mike Lindell's my business page? No, I have not. But yep. See you later. Bye.